So last week I was at the beach with some good girlfriends of mine. We'd just gone hiking and swimming in the ocean, and we're feeling very connected with nature and with each other. And we're just philosophizing about life in general and spirituality and that sort of thing. When my very good friend made this comment, she said, it's like we have our mind, we have our body, and then we have this third thing. I looked at her like, what do you mean this third thing? And she said, that part of you that is just always witnessing. It's not really affected by life. It's just kind of there, the third thing. And I absolutely love that she called it that because, well, first of all, it was cute. Also because it's such a great way to describe this entity within us that humanity has been trying to put a label on for basically this entire existence. In yoga, it would be called your Satguru or your true self. In a lot of religions, it would be called God or any sort of translation of God that you can think of, and there are quite a few of them. And then in a lot of mindfulness practices, it would be called your consciousness. And as we continue to talk about this and the third thing, I realized that it really doesn't matter what you call it. What matters is that you're aware of it and that you are striving to become connected with that part of you, with your third thing. Because in a lot of wisdom traditions, it is considered that this is actually your true self. It's the part of you that is just a silent witness, that is completely unruffled when things happen in life. But it is a real thing that's there. I mean, think about it for a moment. Right now, as I'm making this video and you're watching it, there is a part of you that is watching you and witnessing you think about the fact that there is a third thing. Just let that sink in for a moment. I can sit around thinking about that for a long time. It's kind of a mind bender in a lot of ways. But it's really important, I believe, that we contemplate this, that we work towards connecting with it. And there are a lot of cool ways to do that. Mindfulness practices and meditation. And what I have realized in my life is that when I can be connected to this third thing, I am less reactive. I can go into situations and I have this space all of a sudden where I can see the world around me a little bit more clearly, see my positionality in the world, and then I can decide how I want to respond in that situation, if I want to respond at all. And I would not have that ability or that capacity if it weren't for me connecting and meditating on this third thing. And what's also really cool about this is that science is slowly starting to catch up with this. I've written about it before, about how meditation literally changes the gray matter in your brain. If you have a consistent meditation practice, it has been proven that the gray matter in your hippocampus will increase. And this is the part of your brain that is associated with self-awareness and compassion, which in a lot of wisdom traditions is what the third thing is all about. It's about really being connected with your true sense of self. Really being connected to compassion and this idea of unity and love. And I think that this is just such an empowering thing, because when you can start to really connect with your third thing, or whatever you want to call it, there is this freedom to it. It is like all of a sudden, what the stuff going on around you doesn't hold the same weight. Yes, it's important to have interactions and relationships and to live your life to the fullest. But when things don't go as they're planned or how you want them to, which happens quite often, it's okay. It's not the end of the world, and you have this deep knowing, this deep knowledge and wisdom that you are fine no matter what happens. And I think that that is just such a gift and so empowering to know that we have this third thing. So whatever you want to call it, God, Satguru, Jesus, Bob, whatever you want to call it, I think it's just really important that you connect to it, that you understand deeply on a very heart-centered and visceral way that this is a part of you, a very essential part of your nature, this third thing, this deeply still, grounded, loving presence that is ultimately you. Because when you begin to realize that, you begin to love yourself a little bit more deeply. And then when you begin to love yourself a little more deeply, you become that love, and then you are able to connect more deeply with others. You start to affect the people around you, the world around you, and you make positive changes in this world. So I encourage you to contemplate the third thing. What does that mean to you? How can you connect to it? How can you make it a part of your everyday life? And see what happens. Just see what bringing a tiny bit of mindfulness practice into your life on a regular basis does to change things for you. I bet you'll be surprised.